All right, welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is Jamboy, a Jelly-cious hero. No, we haven't figured out why there's a comma in the title. Like, that's where a colon is supposed to go.
Nah, with a
Maybe,
colon you'd expect a the. With an you can just have a comma.
but it's a title. Like, you don't put commas in titles. Like, anyway,
Maybe you don't.
don't make me hurt you.
I'll sell tickets.
Right. Punctuation aside, Jamboy and Billy are devoured by a giant, and now they have to escape from his guts. Explore the giant's intestines as you defeat food monsters in this frantic multi-genre game. No, it's not that. And go on a stomach-churning adventure. Like, no, this is not a multi-genre game. It is very solidly a platformer. A platformer as you would probably know it from the 16-bit days. More so than a lot of platformers we play on this program. That's a bad thing, by the way. I'll get into it in a bit, but yeah, so you play as a character named Jamboy. Not the most creative, but it does get across what he is, as is he's a literal jar of jelly that has gained sentience somehow, and anthropomorphized with legs and hands, and he is the wielder of a candy cane that he swings around like a club. So technically speaking, this is like an action platformer, though the combat is pretty perfunctory. Like, all you really do is whack things. There's a bit of timing involved in between whacks, and that actually leads to one of the bigger problems of this game. But, by and large, it is jumping around, trying to get the things. In the first chapter, that is, you are trying to find the key in order to unlock the door. In the second chapter, it's finding 5 badges due to storyline reasons. But the point is, you find objects and then you head to the exit. Which is, once again, a fairly tried and true trope of platforming. Especially like 16-bit platformers, those tended to be more the type that had you find something in a level, collect a certain amount, and then go to the exit. Not to say that 8-bit platformers were completely devoid of that, but definitely something that was much more 16-bit-ish in its construction. And, bleeding up into the PlayStation era as well. The point is, the game looks and plays a lot like a lower tier platformer that you'd find on the Super Nintendo. Graphically, it probably comes across as something you'd see on the Saturn and PlayStation. In terms like putting aside modern fidelity, it looks like something that'd be a bit too powerful for the 16-bit machines, but perfectly playable on your Saturn or even a Jaguar. This is kind of obscure enough to appear on that, that platform or the 3DO. The point is something that was CD based or cartridge based, but had more power than a Yamaha. And it is worth noting that this is a platformer that comes from Europe, like, which has baggage attached to it, as then as it is now. Thankfully, it avoids the worst of bad 16-bit Euro platformers. Doesn't avoid all the bad, but what this game doesn't do, it doesn't have large, aimless levels, which is just such a hallmark of shitty 16-bit platforming. You know, just spending 45 minutes looking for the exit because you don't know where it is. Thankfully, that's not the case here. The platforming levels are actually fairly decently sized. And pretty densely packed with content. So, thankfully, it avoids that problem. Other problems, not so lucky on. The first of which is, say it with me now, weird jumping physics.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like this game runs smack dab into that. Because, it's got this weird jumping arc that it's kind of hard to describe unless you've played it or you played Euro platformers like it. It's not a straightforward jump. It's more like 40, like, not sure exactly how much the degree angle is, but it's weird and it's clunky and it's inadequate for a lot of the more precision platforming. Like there's one area where, thankfully, it was a bonus, but it's like if I missed, and I missed because not only because of the weird jumping arc, but because this is one of those games where if you smack your head against the ceiling, you get pushed down. So that resulted in a lot of pit deaths and anger. That being said, along the lines of weird Euro platform jumping, this is on the milder end. You can do so much worse in this area. Because thankfully the game isn't that slippery. It's a bit slippery. I'm not sure if Euro platformers can avoid that. I think it might just be baked into the DNA. For straight, like, this looks like something that came from the Amiga world. I don't know. But like, it doesn't feel as bad as, say, when we reviewed Zool a couple years ago, I think at this point. Or something like that. But it still feels a bit slipshod. As does the combat. Mainly because it's got some jank hit detection. I'm presuming they wanted to keep spamming attacks from being a thing. So like when you swing your cane or a sorted weapon, if you try to swing again, it's not going to connect. It feels like an intentional choice that leads to more problems than a solution, because this is a platforming game, not a combat game. So who cares if I spam the whack attack? Like that's not the point here. The point is to overcome the jumping challenges. And to have my attack not connect like that, and there's no indication that happens. Like there are no iframes, there's no blinking, there's no indicators. It's one of those small things that lead to bigger problems. Like you getting hit by an enemy and falling off a platform. But these are kind of the small crimes compared to the biggest problem of this game. And that is, for whatever reason, this title said, let's have a live system. And that's only the second biggest problem here. And it's a live system in the old school sense. Like you get 3 lives, you can find 1-ups in the levels, and if you collect 100 things, in this case candy, you get an extra life. If you lose all your lives, you lose all the saved progress. And the saved progress is actually the biggest fucking problem of this game. Because you want to know when this game saves your progress? Every 2 levels.
I was going to say
Not
every boss fight, but yeah, that's still kind of awful.
Yes, because you know what that resulted for me? Busy work. It meant beating a level multiple times because I didn't manage to beat the next level. That is bad game design in this year of 2025. I don't care if you're invoking 1991 or whatever.
That's the quarter munchers or anti-replay style of gameplay.
Yeah, it's like we have games on the regular that save progress to avoid this kind of bullshit.
They save your progress multiple times per level, and they are still adequately challenging.
And here's the thing. I know this game can do this because if you get the extras, the collectibles of the level that you don't have to, but it is the bonus that unlocks something. Like in this case, it'll unlock bonus tracks. It'll save those. If you collect those, that'll be remembered. But not the fact that I cleared a level until I clear 2 levels, a level with the flag symbol on the world map. And there's no adequate reason for this.
Yeah. That's a hard mode you're playing through for the 3rd time and you want to spice your challenge thing.
No, it's just fucking
basic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fucking busy work. Because it's like I beat a level, or 100% it or whatever. The thing I don't want to do is have to do that again to get to the part I didn't beat. Like there were reasons to do this in the 90s or whatever. Now games don't do this anymore. Even the modern games that invoke the old styles. This does nothing. Because I've already beaten the challenge here. Now it's just literally busy work. Literally keeping me busy while I get to the part I didn't beat. Or I had to go and do something. This also happened. I had to go do something and I had to quit out of the game. And when I loaded up, it turns out, no, that level didn't save. No fucking excuses here. This needs to go. It's not difficulty. It's not challenge. It's punishment. And there's a reason why the video game world left it behind. All the other stuff I could forgive. But this checkpoint nonsense crossed the line into, no, this is a bad platformer. This is a bad game. Now, it's not the issue I thought I would be coming down the hardest on initially. But here we are.
And at least it's something that can more than likely be fixed if the developers choose to.
I think that's the key word there.
Yeah, that's why I added that modifier in there, because this seems like a deliberate choice that is not a very good choice that they made.
No. And once again, it doesn't even make sense in the context of old school game design. Because usually it's like beginning, middle, end, you get the save points.
Yeah.
Here it's literally like, because every level, the worlds, the chapters are structured 5. It's 2, 2, 1. You know, the boss level, you do get saved, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
and like this isn't a matter of it making it quote unquote too hard. Like you want it to, like, you know, hold your hand through it. You just want it to honor the progress you've made.
I'm not even talking about the difficulty of the level itself.
Right.
Like, no, I'm talking about the meta difficulty. Like, I'm talking about having to repeat stuff that I already beat.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
You've displayed mastery of a section, but because you haven't completed as far as the developers want you to in that section, you're being penalized, which is not okay.
Yeah, no, this is what they would call bad difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
something that was in vogue in the coin op / rental area to extend playtime and nothing more.
Right. And quite frankly, there are way too many platformers for me to ever tolerate this shit.
Oh yeah. Look at fucking Shovel Knight.
Among other games. Like, so, yeah, can't recommend. In terms of pricing, on balance, it would be adequate pricing, $8. Bit of a weird stretch there. But it's also, like, I think there's about 15 levels, which may feed into why the save system is like this. It's why, you know, a game like The Karate Kid on the NES is so damn hard. It's because it's to keep you from beating it in a rental weekend.
Or I guess in this case, from a refund period.
Possibly. But yeah, you know, like the game as a game worth $8, even with even if it kept it, you know, the janky. I don't think they could get rid of the weird jumping or the dodgy hit detection.
Well, and stuff like that is an artistic choice at this point. Like, it doesn't need to quite, quote unquote, be removed.
Right. But the meta progression bullshit, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I cannot, like, this touched a nerve of mine.
We can tell.
Yes. Ooh. Like, this game genuinely pissed me off because I'm like, I can see the quality here. It, you know, it had its problems, but it's like, this was almost a good platformer until you kept making me repeat the same level time and again for no good reason. Like, when I beat the level, I'm done. Like, maybe I'll come back for the collectibles. But it's like, I don't want to have to do it again because I didn't beat the level afterwards. No. There. I think I've gotten that off my chest. I've been waiting a while for this one.
Little bro's been seething.
Yes. Anyway. So, yeah. That'll about do it for Jamboy here. And indeed, that'll about do it for our review session. So, coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, October 15th, we are slated to have Tom Frenchel of Little Guy Games. I say slated because one of these devs that hasn't confirmed yet. So, always sweaty when that happens, because that means there's a fairly good chance they don't show up on their assigned day. But in the meantime, they haven't uncommitted either, so we continue on to describe what they do. In the case of Little Guy Games, they are in the VR field, another VR developer. The creator of games such as Endless Night, The Darkness Within, Home Run Derby, VR Edition, and Wings of Wanatu. So, been a while since we've had a VR dev in our midst, but it's always neat when we have one here. So, hopefully that'll go through. We do have a Wednesday MSP planned as well. And indeed, we have a Friday show planned as well. Hopefully, because this one's been on the books for quite a while, but been tumbled down a couple of times due to various delays on both sides. There was one time when it had to be delayed for one of Petty's medical appointments. Another time something happened with him. But hopefully on Friday, October 17th, we'll finally be able to have Fernando Dominguez Sarmentino of Lemon Chill Soft on the program. Or sorry, Lemon Chili Soft. We'll be talking about their game, Super Farming Boy. So look forward to that. And until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.